All right. Happy Thursday. It is August 8th. It is another episode of the Weekly Mojo with your hosts, Madison Jessica.
And my counterpart, Connor. Uh, can we just take a minute to appreciate this 888 Lionsgate portal?
Yeah, I had something teed up for that.
Woo!
Yep, there we go.
We might as well get into it, right? Is there spelling associated with this?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, let's start it over. It's way more familiar when you hear it. Well, it's on YouTube.
Nice. All right.
Anyways,
I'm ready to watch any sort of.
It's the Lionsgate portal. You saw it open.
Yeah, I'm blanking, and now I'm just thinking Happy Madison Productions straight up, instead of whatever Lionsgate produces, which I know is probably fire. I just can't think of anything other than Happy Madison Productions at this point. Oh, and that is where I'm at in my life. I think I'm just really hung up on the fact that Joan Carner, sneak peek for like a few weeks ahead, probably a month or two. But did you know that there's a baddie that's competing at the same caliber, if not more intense and better, than Tiger Woods, and you just never heard of her? The Great Gundy. I'm like, Adam Sandler, please, for the love of God, I continue to be stalked by your Happy Gilmore reiteration.
Mm-hmm.
Can we please just get a cameo of her and
it should be you and her against John Daly and some other person, like Kirsten Wiig or I don't know.
I'm ready for the duos, like round 2, let's go. But I need Joan Carner to be a part of this epic, transformation of how we see sports in general. Oh my God. You can't tell me that she's a 3-time World Cup, I don't know. She's basically at the same caliber as Tiger Woods, and she has 43 LPGA titles to her name. Like, the bitch just gets better and better. And she's still competing. Yeah, Joan Carner. Carner. There we go. Yes, America's Little Baddie. Better than Tiger Woods. Like, can we please see a head-to-head at this point? I know she's better than Trump. That I would love to fucking see. You know what I'm talking about? Steve Carell and Emma Stone did that tennis boys versus girls thing.
Billie Jean.
Yes,
Billie Jean
I
King.
need the Joan Carner Trump version of this because oh, God bless. Anyway, Adam Sandler, make it happen. I know you can. It'd be a winner. We've gotten into quite a recommendations corner, more just my what I would love to see for the future. And
you're recommending everything, not just things for other people to consume or digest, but for other people to literally do with their own lives.
I mean, do what you want, but ultimately, is that not 10 times better than whatever is being? I don't know. I'm excited for whatever happens. We're manifesting. It's Lionsgate portal. We get back to.
Exactly, and then our little lion showed up.
I know. We got Ruby Doo hanging out, which is nice.
But the Joan Carter comment is probably a great segue into some of our topics for today, because we're gonna probably talk a little bit about, I don't know, sports and sports culture and maybe social culture and the intersection of that, I guess, if that's some of the words people like to use to describe things. But before that, we're going to get into the story of your artwork that we have behind me, because that's the most interesting thing we've got today to talk about by far. And then lastly, you said I could bring out a recommendation like I wanted to do.
Absolutely. So what is that recommendation from you?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's... Most people who are probably going to listen or watch or enjoy this are not going to enjoy this book, but it is The Secrets of Sand Hill Road, Venture Capital, and How to Get It. It's pretty good. I mean, it's very practical advice on, the, I don't know, things you have to think through, and the way that investors are going to be evaluating you is probably the most important piece. You know, a lot of people don't come from a financial background. They don't really know what sorts of metrics or perspectives that, people from
Investors are looking for.
yeah, and it all comes down to incentives and, financial, incentive mechanisms, like everything we talk about, or
Yeah.
I talk about constantly. But anyways, it's very useful if like you think you're gonna go that route and be able to do that. So, would recommend it. I am like a third of the way through it. I read a lot of these types of books, so it just feels like one of the higher caliber versions of things I've read before. I'm not necessarily discovering new things, but as far as a starter book, it's really approachable, and I think it's written very well. And I think it's really, really accurate and a good perspective. But I think Grind is a better place to start. This is the book if you get off the ground a little bit, and have a few businesses.
And Grind, you're calling back to our previous recommendation from our
Yeah.
friends of Ann Arbor. I gotcha.
Yeah, and not to like oversell it or anything, but like, yeah, that book has a far more accurate perspective on what it is to start a business, starting a startup or a regular business.
Cool.
And this is like, hey, I've got a bunch of buddies and I've been an executive for 20 years. I can start a startup with an idea type of people. And then there are, somehow people who are really, really well connected and have an idea and can just go sell it in advance.
Those sound like a unicorn. Do those exist?
Yeah, this is who that book is most helpful for, to be honest. But like, if you are also going to put in like the grind and talk to hundreds and hundreds of VC firms, you should read this book as well. And that is most people who do pursue this path, because there's a lot of no's on the way to the one yes. But maybe this will help you save yourself some no's, because sometimes it's you fucking up, and I know I've been there.
I mean, sometimes it's all about positioning, right? And like,
that's
what's
what the
best
book's
for
getting
somebody
at.
else is not just best for another person. So it's finding what's best for the individual at the end of the day.
And it is a reputable guy. I didn't give his name, the author. His name is Scott Cooper. I'm not really sure, but he was the managing partner at Andreessen Horowitz, which, if you don't know, is a respected investment firm out of Silicon Valley. Hence the name. That's probably the street that they're on, which is, I think, a street a lot of the funds are on, Sand Hill Road.
Gotcha.
And Cass made a joke about it much earlier in our content creation days.
Full circle.
Right.
For all you black cat girlfriends that have Labrador men in your lives, that seems like the Christmas gift to give in 2024, when everything around us is crumbling as we speak and corporations are just greedy fucking assholes. You might as well be your own business.
Yeah, so if you're gonna do that, read Grind,
and then
maybe you'll get to this other book. I don't think I'm even qualified for it yet, technically speaking.
Most people give me the finger. Yeah.
Anyways,
let's get to our bad bitch that life happened a little too quickly for her. Got sucked up into a lot of shit. And
before we get into
a lot of time,
can I plug one more recommendation for a store you got me this hat at?
Oh, sure.
Her story really reminds me of what's written on the inside of this hat, which
very Pearl Heart of Essence, but never got her right deserved. I would love to hear the quote in the inside of your hat. That was such a fun gem to find in the Bunker store, in Westport neighborhood area. Oh my god, this fucking store is so dope. What a little cool consignment shop. Every fucking odds and ends thing that you could want from for every friend, family member, that's the place to be.
You're right. This quote suits Agate Eyes much better than
or Pearl Heart or Agate Eyes. Yeah, a lot of our history. Listen, a lot of our bad bitches of history that have clearly been rewritten over.
I was thinking Agate Eyes mostly because her story was done wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like they completely lied about her.
No, that's very true.
Especially when the
Holy
context
shit.
of
What
this
a fuck
quote.
situation. I can't even. I'm still reeling over that because I didn't even get the full story. Like, I never got the full story in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, I'll read the quote. It says, "When freedom is a memory and justice is outlawed, the just must become outlaws." And so again, that's why, you know, I thought
Be your own business, be your own body, pave your own fucking way, because Jesus, everyone will take your work and claim it as their own.
That being said, I'm not sure this story perfectly encapsulates the spirit of that, but it sure is something kind of close to it in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
here is our bad bitch of the week. Our weekly Mojo presents Carol Ann. Carol Ann Fugate is what's going to come up, but you know what? I don't think she deserves a last name on the back of it because Carol Ann's I-L. There we go. And that will change. You don't need to, and nope, that's just not helpful. There we go. Like I said, don't need the Fugate because Carol Ann spoke enough for herself.
Yeah, this isn't live, so that's why I was, you know. Where is she?
You had her before.
No, I didn't. This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is Fugate. All right, here we go.
It's Mowgli outside.
Apparently. I thought they all came in. It's rainy now.
Woohoo! We interrupt this break for, you know, life circumstances.
We'll entertain, I guess.
Get the standby. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, I don't know what we do about that. This is. You guys can't see it, but there's a cat over there. No. Well, I'm more fun when I have someone to talk to. So I don't like talking to the void. But we'll get a preview here of Carol Ann, and I'll get Chat GPT pulled up because it's fun to write a story. Huh? Yeah, why is the door just open?
No. But yep. Okay, wait. Okay, 2 seconds.
Yeah, that definitely was on camera this time. It feels like the deadbolt got basically I think it's a cheap deadbolt because it seems out of position and jammed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know. I was very frustrated this morning. I basically like hit it because I assumed it was just like misplaced on the inside of the door jamb. Fuck. Anyway, it just was such a beautiful morning this morning. I can't wait to get into Carol Ann. Yeah, it was only 1 hour. So my bad bitch, Carol Ann Fugate. Carol Ann from Nebraska, which is why the good life. It's not for everybody. Or some shit like that. What was our latest? It was a really sarcastic quote, and I was obsessed with it for a hot minute.
I'm bad at multitasking.
I know, that's fine. It was the good life for so long, and then it was based. It's just Nebraska. It's not for everybody. And I was like, wow.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know that by heart.
No, I'm like, I don't think that you can come up with a more indicative slogan. Oh my god. Of how.
Oh, episode 5 is sloppy.
I'm just like, what a fucking day.
Right. We're still out here having fun.
We're making the most of it. I don't know what else to fucking do.
Carol Ann, you are an outlaw. You'll understand.
Yeah. A lot of fun things.
It's pirate radio. We're back on the way.
Welcome to the shit show. It just probably doesn't get better from here. So tune out if you want something more professional. I don't think you'd be here if you were.
Right. And that's why no one's here at the moment.
No shit, right?
Okay.
Except for one subscriber. Thank you so much. I'm sure you're gone by now.
Yeah, I'm sure none of them come live.
Thank God.
I've never seen one on there. Maybe last week.
All right, let's get into this bad bitch's
So
story before
you don't want to share your version of the story before I share?
No, I really had none. Other than, like, I knew she was from Nebraska. I knew that she was 14 when she got.
Oh, you know who
basically
else was
wrapped
from
up
Nebraska?
into-
Tim Walz.
I know. Don't. I mean, well, yeah, okay, we got to go into that now.
Yeah, Tampon Tim.
So Tampon Tim, shout out to Kami Harris's VP of choice. I love a Midwest boy. And apparently the big slogan is, he's younger than Brad Pitt. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? 60?
He doesn't take care of himself like Brad Pitt does.
I think that's a few different things going into play there. But, you know,
Yeah.
Blood doping and spear-mongering different stories. We'll avoid that because cookies and tater tot hot dish is the
Not
play
biscuits
for
and gravy.
Tim Walz. No, he's literally a tater tot hot dish winner. Like, that is, and God bless somebody that sees both sides of the party when you're only one and you put tampons in the bathroom. Apparently it was only for the boys. I don't really get that. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem real. That just seems like a Reds play to be like, So I don't know. I feel like the teddy bear is going to end up winning out in the blue race. It's like we have the Dark Lord and Evil Empire and fucking JD Botox and filler is gender affirming Vance. And what a shit show, what a clown show.
Our laser.
I didn't go for any of these fuckers.
Our laser eye in chief.
Oh my God. Anyway,
Bitcoin diamond hands.
To see what this House of Cards crumbles, falls, and like what comes out of it. We need some Phoenix rising out of this bullshit, but interesting. Can't wait to see what happens next. Holy fuck. We went from Nebraska. Tim Walz went to Chadron State. So he's from the boonies of Nebraska. Everybody's going to claim him like they claim Johnny Carson.
You think Red Nebraska is going to claim him? They're going to be like, no, we're glad he left our state.
But he was like jumping on top of the goalpost in the Nebraska-Oklahoma, like the Nebraska victory. He's a boy, you know? He coached football up in Mankato, which is such a weird.
Yeah, that's where your grandma's from.
I know, that's where I was born. That's some of the fucking weirdest.
Yeah, because you're like, I claim Nebraska. No, you're like, I claim Minnesota, but you're from Nebraska.
Minnesota. That's the funniest shit. Is I will claim Minnesota die hard. I recently.
You're like the anti-Tim Walz. You're like the anti-Tim Walz as a young white woman on the conservative side of things.
Am I conservative?
Who claims Minnesota but grew up in Nebraska, which is, the
irritated with all of the dumb bureaucracy not doing any fucking thing. I don't know. Hi, welcome to the party. We missed you. Come here.
Alrighty, so Carol Ann, the outlaw bandit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah? Did you enjoy the rain?
I'm scared to know. Hey, can we Google what that so she ended up joining a murder on his spree killing, and he killed her parents basically in this giant chase. And devolving. I don't fucking know how to call it, but I'd love to know what his age was when they met, because at the age of 13 she formed a relationship with Charles, 5 years her senior. Okay, so that's not that. Fuck, Jesus,
it's bad, but at that time, less bad than could be.
You know what? It's not. It's gross. It's fucking gross when it's you.
I just said less bad than it could be.
Ew. Anyway, I'm like, she got caught up in the huge. This is a fucking tale as old as time. She had very controlling, strict-ass, horrible parents that basically she was at the ripe age of teenagers where you're just like against and over it all. Rightfully so. But there are some very short-term solutions and dire consequences that come out of that. So I'd love to hear what ChatGPT came up with for Carol Ann.
All right, I'm just gonna start this out with a GBR. You know.
Oh, big red.
Yeah, I can't do it as not an alum, so that's how I figured. That was funny.
Poor Ruby.
No one saw that, I don't think.
I know, you poor thing. It's okay. You can go by this side.
In the quiet town of Lincoln, Nebraska, Carol Ann Fugate was just like any other 13-year-old girl. She was a little shy, a little stubborn, and always dreaming of adventure.
Yeah.
She had an older sister, Barbara, and lived with her mother, Velda. Carol's world revolved around school friends and her boyfriend, Charles Starkweather, a charismatic 19-year-old who made her feel like she was part
19. Sorry, that's not 5
of
years.
something
that's
bigger.
6 years. That lies on fucking whatever wiki page that was. Bullshit. 19. 19 to 13.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not.
fucking wild. Oh my god. Sorry, honey, you're just like really gross and wet.
She was part of
Go
something bigger than the ordinary life she knew. Carol was smitten with Charles, who seemed to embody the rebellious spirit she admired. But Charles had a darker side. He was troubled, angry at the world, increasingly frustrated with his lot in life. Carol didn't see this at first. She just saw someone who treated
she was love bombed.
Who treated her like a grown-up, someone who made her feel special. Yes, that is love bombing or grooming.
And yes, groomed, exactly. Ooh, I can't wait to get into that deep dive.
Yeah, I think what's tough is like, how do you discern like grooming from like mentorship and like giving real good advice?
You should never be dating your mentor.
I think that's the easy take.
Relationship. That's just like, it doesn't happen. Sorry, not sorry. There are cool people fucking everywhere. If you can't fucking keep it together, it's not my fucking problem. Figure it out. Do some self-reflection. Yeah,
sure. Anyways. Got to present the tension, right, and call it out.
Right. I mean, like,
this is the path to that. Like, intimacy is through tough, intimate, hard conversations like this, where you get to know someone, treating them as an adult and caring about their perspective. I'm not like defending. I'm just saying, like, this is the mental state that happens.
What age is a 19-year-old hanging out with a 13-year-old? Like, there is no way in my head, like, what face are you? Like, that makes zero sense. Like, you're 100%. Not in the same classes. You're not even in the same fucking school.
Right.
Schools. She's 8th grade. You're college age. Should be drafted. This is 1958, right? Because, like, we didn't call out the year. Yeah. But I'm just like, this is not far enough ago for me to have any fucking, like,
that much sympathy for it.
No. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's fair. I just like try to explore the conversation.
I look at 14-year-olds and I'm like, you're a baby. And it's wild looking at college kids, because I just remember watching them growing up and I'm like, wow, giant human like beings. And then you look at them now, you're like, oh, you're like fresh out of college, like you're fresh out of school, like you're literally holding 70, 90,000, 115,000 people's expectations on your shoulders at the age of, like, that's nuts. That's fucking nuts. Anyway, continue.
Yeah.
It's dope that you can be able to like rise into that and above it. I think it's very interesting to see when you stop growing up as a result of getting treated only successfully.
Go off.
Shit, that was like 5 other tangents in one. Oops.
As their relationship deepened, Charles began to talk about escaping the small town, leaving behind the people who had wronged him. He saw himself as an outlaw, and he wanted Carol by his side. For Carol, who was used to being treated like a child, this was exciting and terrifying all at once. One cold day in January 1958, Carol Carol came home to find her life turned upside down. Charles had been there, and in a fit of rage, he had killed her mother, Velda, her stepfather, Marion, and her baby half-sister, Betty Jean.
Bro, that's so fucked.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's so fucked. She wasn't even a part of that in any real regard other than the fact that she was dating him. Mm-hmm. He literally, fit of rage, killed her entire family.
Yeah. So he could take her away, very clearly.
She's 13. So continue, because this is clearly why I wanted her to have a representation in Bad Bitches of History, because holy fuck, her entire life was just taken away from her in a moment's notice, and I don't think she had really any say in it. And if she did, do you think that he would have gone with it?
No, I don't think so.
No, it sounds like
she was going with her no matter what.
Uh-huh.
When Carol arrived, she was thrust into a nightmare. Charles claimed that everything was under control, that they would be fine as long as they stuck together. Carol was in shock. Not fully grasping what had happened, Charles convinced her that if she tried to run or tell anyone, she would be blamed for the murders.
Oh my god.
Terrified and confused, she decided to stay silent.
Shut up. Oh my fucking god, what do? Fight, freeze, fun.
The next few days were a blur. Charles and Carol went on the run, leaving a trail of violence across Nebraska and Wyoming. As the media began to cover the story, they were branded as outlaws, the modern-day Bonnie and Clyde. For Carol, each day was a mix of fear and disbelief.
Can you hear my eye roll at the fucking, audacity of
classic media stories? Shit, completely gone wrong.
She's fucking kidnapped!
She didn't know how to escape the situation, and Charles' control over her grew stronger with every passing moment. The journey was harrowing. They stole cars, broke into homes, and Charles killed anyone who got in their way. Carol was trapped in a nightmare she couldn't wake up from, unable to see a way out. After 8 days on the run, their luck ran out in Wyoming. The police caught up with them, and Carol, finally seeing a chance to escape, ran towards the officers, screaming that Charles was going to kill her. Charles was captured soon after, and the reign of terror was over. But for Carol, the nightmare wasn't over. She was arrested and charged as an accomplice to the murders.
Dude, it just gets worse.
At just 14 years old, she was thrust into a media frenzy, with people questioning whether she was a victim or a willing participant. Carol's trial was one of the most sensational of the time. The prosecution painted her as a willing accomplice, while her defense argued that she was a scared child manipulated by an older, dangerous man. In the end, Carol was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Her life behind bars was a stark contrast to the chaos she had endured.
I wonder why. Maybe because she wasn't meant to be a part of it and didn't want to be a part of it in the first place, and finally found some sort of sanity and reprieve and was able to find herself. Sorry, keep going.
She spent years reflecting on what had happened, trying to make sense of it all. As she grew older, she began to understand how she had been manipulated and how fear had clouded her judgment. After 17 years in prison, Carol was paroled in 1976. She moved to Michigan.
That's so fucking wild! 1976? That's crazy. Where did it say?
No, she probably doesn't want people to know either. But where she lived a quiet... No, she just died. In 2013. Which is the year I graduated from college. Or high school.
That's when Ian graduated from college.
I don't know why.
Yeah. I know. He's only 5 years older than us. That's so wild. I didn't put the 89 to 96 together until I was in my head I was doing it backwards. So I was like, oh, you're 79. And I was like, nope, you're not. Just mentally. Yeah. Just on that wavelength.
Exactly.
Respect.
She lived a quiet, unassuming life far from the media spotlight. She tried to leave the past behind her, but the shadow of what happened in 1958 never fully disappeared. Carol Ann Fugate's story is a complicated one, a tale of youthful naivety, dangerous love, and the struggle to find redemption.
She didn't fucking kill anybody. That's the thing that boggles my mind, and she didn't do anything. She was literally just kidnapped victim, a part of the situation, didn't want to die along the way. And so this is why I wrote about her. I finally went back to my notes. That's so smart. I should be doing this in the beginning. She's seeking a pardon from Nebraska because she's basically like, I really didn't.
Her name is Carol Ann Fugate, by the way.
I fucking know. I like Carol Ann. I just fuck the last name. Carol Ann stands alone on her own.
I mean, she does.
Right.
This is a pretty iconic image, also. For
incredible. I'm like, look at this bad bitch. I love her so much. She's in my living room. She will forever be
I know
there.
it's just like a candid of her.
It's just iconic. She's iconic.
It could be a Pepsi ad if that, like,
the Kim K, and I only want to be iconic.
Right, but I mean, Pepsi could do a redemption campaign for her and be like the Pepsi challenge.
That is
rebrand.
That is Pepsi. I like put it in here like it looks like a C, but it's Pepsi.
Yeah.
God bless. God bless this queen.
It's a straight Pepsi ad.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, and I don't even like. I
love Pepsi. Pepsi's my favorite.
No, Dr. Pepper's better.
I mean, that's different. It's not even a cola.
But they're both awful. Coca-Cola fucking sucks, and so does Pepsi. Don't sponsor
Pepsi.
me. I don't care. Dr. Pepper only.
Dr. Pepper's great. You know I love Dr. Pepper. I get it every time for you.
Yeah, majority of the time I would say that, or root beer.
Yeah, that's because I'm a root beer guy and I prefer that most of all.
That's something that you do say.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, what a fucking crazy ass story.
Right? Yeah.
Fuck the media. I'm so sick of people writing other people's stories. Why don't you ask a damn bitch?
Yeah, they don't care to like fix it either. Like,
no.
But I mean, you know, sometimes it's because they want to tell the story that way, and I think we fail to recognize.
Tales as old as time, and I'm like, that's a tale as old as time. I'm so fucking sick of hearing. Sometimes, right. What were you saying? Sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like certain campaigns feel way more plastic and manufactured than others. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying one smells of plastic.
Are you talking about JD Vance's face again?
I'm not going to say that's not full of plastic.
Okay.
But I'm not saying it smells like plastic.
We got to talk about this body affirming shit because it's just so funny how much people care. And I'm like, the more you put into it, the more people just are going to make fun of you, right? Because, like, why should you give two fucks? It's all just meat flesh suits that are, like, all subject to somebody else's own fucking perspective and insecurities. So I'm like watching Donald Trump's lifts get flown out of his shoes as he's like diving down. I'm just, what are we doing? Why? What's the need? You got $1 billion. You got a gorgeous wife who puts up with you.
Seemingly loves you. Seemingly.
We've seen the videos, but you know. To each their own, because she's dealing with all of your dumb ass shit.
She came out to support him after he was shot on stage. That's love.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. I fucking can't. But the deep dive of the day is basically just going into, I guess, I don't know what the fuck anymore. I was mind psyoped by this, like, grooming situation is all that sounds like. It just sounds like grooming at its finest. I don't know how they met. I'd be curious to know if the internet knows, but even still, I'm like, at what point are you meeting? Is a 19-year-old meeting a 13-year-old? Or why, again, with the Olympics going on right now, and that Dutch volleyball player who purposely flew to a separate country to physically assault and rape a 13-year-old, it was a 12-year-old. I'm just, it's so wild. I don't know what rehabilitation you can do if that is the level of calculation you're looking to go into. It just sounds like you're hiding more shit now and being a little bit more conscious of your decisions. Maybe the fact that you got like 4 years is fucking nuts. And oh my god, don't even want to get into just the injustice in all of that. Yes, I would like the answer.
So basically, Charles and Carol Ann's older sister, Barbara, were basically acquainted because they were much closer in age. And so Charles, he was originally coming over
my God,
for
that's
the
so
older
fucking
sister,
gross.
basically.
Ew, that's
and
so
then
fucking gross.
because he's an outlaw and Jane's
Blech.
Dean type,
Blech.
she became smitten with him, and he took interest because she took interest.
Oh, my stomach really hurts because that straight up just sounds like a certain sister's bestie and her sister and her North Dakota boyfriend trio. Wow.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
We can take it offline because it's some messy shit, but oh my God, I cannot believe that revelation came to me. In no fucking way are you a normal person if you choose to date one sister and then move on to the next sister. Like, yeah. I can't think of anyone.
I just don't know how you're sister number normal. 2 in this situation if sister number 1's already been there.
I just don't know where it's, like, there is so many non-computationals on that where I'm just like, the limit does not exist on my, like, level for, like, what the fuckness is wrong with you? Are you that desperate for touch and affection and attention? Like, oh my God.
Well, he was never successful with sister number 1. He was just interested in
right, I'm talking about somebody else, but, you know, to each, it's the really, like, I'll take anything. She's fucking 13. That's wrong. That's literally so fucking wrong.
Well,
oh my God. Ew. Oh my God.
Despite the concerns of Carol's family, they spent more time together.
Yeah, because they're like, yeah, this is really gross. But what you can't do anything at that point, and you clearly didn't listen. I'm not going to talk about parenting because nobody knows what everything. Basically. It's fucking. I can't handle the level of atrocity that goes into that because it's like parenting, neglecting, and like the inability to put into your own self-worth. It's just so many things.
She's 13 in this photo.
She's 13. She's a baby. I mean, like, not a baby, but she's coming into the person she's trying to be, and she just got fucking, like, bamboozled into this whole swindled, and she served 18 years for not killing a damn soul, just being sucked into it? What did he serve? Hold on, what the fuck did he serve? Oh my God, what did he serve?
He got the death penalty.
Ooh, yeah?
Yeah, he died at age 20.
That sounds necessary when it's just that depraved. Sounds like Nebraska also. Fuck. I don't know. Too many praying individuals. I'm like, who the fuck chooses positions like that to only then exploit those relationships? I'm like, if you're mentoring 13 to 16-year-olds, there is no fucking time, way, shape, or reason that you should ever be participating in anything engaging with them. Like, oh my, in 18, 19, 20, like literally you're mentoring them. Move the fuck on. You have your own fucking life. Like, I don't know. It's so wild to me. Sorry, we're talking about this, like, going back to, there is not just one rapist at the Olympics this season of 2024 in Paris. There's a coach, an Australian coach, swimming coach, that basically raped a 13-year-old, while the Dutch boy raped a 12-year-old.
Yeah, the volleyball Dutch boy.
Yeah. And I'm like,
what's no fucking coach?
It's an Australian swimming coach.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's really fucked up. Mm-hmm. Really fucked up.
And it hurts in the worst spot because I love swimming.
It's like really.
I mean, like, it's bad no matter what.
To think that people choose these positions and they act in that way, and I'm like, it feels like you're grooming or looking for something, and I'm like, I think that's just I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. And I guess that's why I'm just like very hesitant for most coaches, because I'm like, what are you doing? Why do you want to hang out with kids? So.
And then I think of my best friend who's a
No,
coach,
totally.
and I'm
An
like, he's
incredible
like,
guy, but he's like,
yeah,
he's a kid at heart, and that's why he fits in so well.
right.
I think it's maybe the gender difference dynamic that's like, I mean, this is a male coach that's coaching with girls swimming because it's 13-year-old.
Well, Nick does
teenagers.
That. Nick coaches girls swimming.
Both?
He coaches all people, but he's also done girls high school swimming. He's done girls middle school swimming.
Again, he's like a kid at heart. I mean, like, he's got a very healthy relationship with Ivy. I get that too.
I'm not.
There's like people that choose these positions only for the fact that they're looking to groom and find their next like piece of something.
Maybe 20% of them. I'm sure that most of the people who go into that.
I hope it's fucking way less.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's more than 20%, because I'm sure it might be.
Who the
but
fuck knows? Because I'm just like, it doesn't make sense for me. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work for other people. But I am wilding because so long story short, that swimmer coach basically got a year for raping the 13-year, having a relationship with a 13-year-old. Fucking gross. Grooming a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
And his lawyers advised him that because the age of consent is 16, because he was like, what am I supposed to do? Sorry, what do you mean, what are you supposed to do? Go date somebody your fucking age, you gross ass little piece of shit. Yeah. Like, tell me you have a micro dick and nobody's ever seen a penis before, and they're like, well, we gotta deal with this one. It's very scarring for a lot of people. Deal with it on your own fucking problem. Anyway, they advised him 16. So now he only coaches 16 and up. That's fucking gross.
Because it makes it better.
Go home, micro dick.
For the swim coaches out there that I've had that have been wonderful, I'm sorry that you have to be associated with this.
I don't think you
awful
have to
coach.
Be. I think there's just coaches.
Yeah, well, I mean, just by proxy of the conversation.
Of sports and children are the most oppressed of us all, like of the entire like class of humans.
You're in a very special position with all the kids you coach. They look up to you.
Right.
You know?
Do not abuse that fucking responsibility. You jack of all motherfucking trades, you know? If you can't do, you're gonna coach. Don't fuck it up. We'll all have issues as a result. And I wasn't even physically abused by mine.
Yeah.
Just mentally. Thank you, Cunty. I really hope you see this, but there's no fucking way.
I have some really harsh coaches, but I usually look on that as a positive. So.
Well, I don't feel like your coaches basically screamed at you.
Oh, they did.
In front of an entire stadium as you
were basically just a team.
Because you weren't cheering loud enough, and then told you to go in and basically play after that. It was just like, what a wild thing to just be so above and in your own ego to scream at a 16-year-old because you're not feeling good about your position on the court. It's cute. It's clearly affected me, but we're rising above it as we speak.
Yep. Feels like it.
Yeah, I mean, as
Lionsgate portal.
No shit, right? We're releasing, and I think that's a net positive in a lot of respects.
I released something awful this week, so you know.
There's been a lot of things that we've had to release over this last week, and I think it's very good for us to just move forward in this world.
It feels like everything's coming.
Take on that shark mentality and just keep swimming.
Oh, you want me to go shark eyes?
No, I'm so over shark eyes.
All right, with that, I think that probably wraps Weekly Mojo for this week. Stay tuned next week. We'll be on the road. We'll see how we do this, whether we bring the canvas with us or not. But yes.
Yeah, I suppose we could probably plan for that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we're planning for it audibly right now. We'll see how we execute. You guys follow through by coming back next week to find out more.
Stay tuned for 2 bad bitches next week. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, follow on Playhouse TV. This has been another episode of the Weekly Mojo with your host, Madison Jessica.
That's my counterpart, Connor.